Welcome to Movie to Beer. This is Dan Kopersky, and on this very special COVID-sode, as we're calling them now, we have with us a special youth correspondent, Mr. Otto.
Otto,
he is.
Expert at making music.
He is. He's a very good musician.
Mm-hmm. This is a true fact.
And we also have our normal co-host,
Randall.
Co-host expert Blake.
Yay! And as we always try to remind people that this is a exploration of ales and lagers while we try to figure out what the hell we're going to watch, because there's so many things to stream.
There really is.
It's really hard to decide.
It's the best kind of problem, really.
It is. So we went through a period of time where we were trying to figure out, hey, we could really watch some crazy 80s films, and we thought about, well, there's got to be some. I picked out some crazy space movie, mid-80s, like Battlestar Galactica TV series era.
Ah, yes, Battlestar Galactica. Eradicate.
That's
Eradicate.
Yeah.
The Ute expert agrees. It looks like I'm right.
Oh,
Do
yeah.
you even know what Battlestar Galactica is?
No.
Their Cylons are the robots. People made robots, and robots revolted.
It's so good.
It's old school. There's actually a bunch of movies and stuff with it too, but I digress.
Yeah, we do.
So in this movie, in a beer episode, we just talked about this crazy movie called Space Raiders. And this 1983.
84.
1983.
84. Okay. This movie was made exclusively at the same set that all the other space movies at that time were made in California.
At the water plant.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it was. It did look like a water plant.
There was a water plant scene at the end. So it was a very interesting movie. We had three different beers, or two different. Well, we were going to have three, but we decided to not have one of them. We just went with two beers. And it kind of turned into a battle of the pale ales, one from Washington and one from Oregon. And we'll talk about those in a minute or five. But first up, we're going to talk about this crazy movie called
Space Raiders.
Yes.
I feel like that's a video game.
It might be. I feel like it is.
It could be based off a video game, because the special effects, when there weren't people, that was just like little models in space. They shot actually like the same kind of little laser shots that they did in Star Wars.
Yeah.
Nice.
But outside of that, everything else was like a regular gun, which you wouldn't necessarily want in space because it'll like make a hole.
It looked like the guns from Aliens, which are legit will murder you guns.
Yeah.
Which was a little disconcerting.
Yeah. But I really do think that there was a lot of merit in this movie in that it was basically like an hour and a half TV episode of a bad 80s sitcom in space, because it didn't explain anything.
I think they went in with good intentions. I feel like on paper, this probably looked like a really good movie, and I think all the actors and the directors and writers, once they got on set and started filming this thing, they were probably like, "What the? This is not coming together."
Yeah, this isn't working out.
Come together right now.
Yeah.
I think I appreciated it because I'm in my mid-30s, and it just had all the right parts. There's like the gruff lead. There's an alien who's empathic, I guess, and just like a tough lady who doesn't want kids around, and a precocious kid. This movie hit all the right points for me. Mm-hmm. As a young person, Otto, how'd you like the movie?
I liked it. First time seeing it, I thought out of a 1 out of 10, I gave it a 5.
Nice.
That's pretty good.
That's not too bad.
It did actually get pretty average ratings. It for the time, and the dialogue, and the fact that you actually did see like all the crew got shot and they blew up a lot of ships, and they had no remorse. They're like,
I think
the kid had a little remorse at first, and then the co-pilot talked him into just blowing him up. And you're like, I can't do it. And he's like, just blow him up. Okay.
I think they killed off all the characters, spoiler alert, because they were like,
We can't
"Dear
afford
God,
them."
please, let's not make a sequel."
Leave no loose ends.
Well, you have the guy who's almost dead anyway, dropping the kid off on a planet by himself after the parents have been killed on the spaceship that was trying to come after everybody and kill everyone. It's just like, what?
This movie's amazing.
It was just all over the place. And then, yes, Otto, please continue. We interrupted you. I'm sorry.
I like that you raised your hand.
You did.
He's back in school, folks.
Yes, it is
Yay.
school time.
2nd grade.
Yay.
In this movie, it was probably like the longest death scene.
Oh, yeah. The guy
the
died for
longest.
like 15 minutes.
That's a good call.
And then he
5
and the
minutes.
amazing thing is like so the young kid who's probably 10 years old got out the first aid kit. He found the first aid kit even though he didn't have any idea they had one. He found it, got it out and started putting together these just random things and like stuck it on the guy's chest wound, which moved from the left side to the right side. If plot spoil on that one.
I caught that, and I thought I was just hallucinating due to the drinks.
He put some weird fluid in it, and you have no idea what it is. And he's kind of just like shoving it onto the guy's chest, and it's like he kind of comes half awake and smiles at the kid, and that's the end of it. And you're just like, what the hell just happened?
What a wild movie.
It was crazy. All right, Otto, it's on you.
Do you know where that kid just drank beer and he was like,
Oh, yes.
That's right. The kid. Should we talk about the weird product placement?
Yeah, there's a lot of weird
Killian's
product
Red,
placement.
right?
There is a lot of really odd, and I would say that it's probably even more than just that beer. But there was an awful lot of Killian's Red, Killian's Irish Red, old school, and back in the '80s, that was top of the shelf because there wasn't a whole lot of other imports.
Nope.
And
What kind of beer is that? I don't. I've seen it around, but I don't think I've actually ever had it.
So Killian's Irish Red, really smooth. I boofed. I was supposed to pick some up for us to drink during the episode so we could try it and talk about it, but I totally spaced that one off. Oops. We'll get that for another
It's not
time.
the only '80s space movie with that beer, right?
I'm sure it's
Pretty
not.
sure they drank it in Star Wars.
Yeah, because when I saw the can and I saw the label, I was like, I drank that in the military back in 1990. So I'm like, I know that beer exists. Hold on.
To address Randall's point, when they weren't drinking blue milk, yeah, they're drinking George Killian's Red.
Yeah, that makes
Green
sense.
milk. I thought it was green milk.
Kylo's Red.
thought it was blue.
Isn't that the beer they were drinking?
Oh, the new Star Wars don't
New
count.
Star Wars don't count. Oops.
you meant Kylo Ren?
Kylo Ren.
Get
What?
called out.
Nice.
It was a joke.
So,
Just like that movie.
so there was a
Yeah.
lot of beer drinking in the bar scenes. There was a lot of gangster activity a la canteen scene from Star Wars. It was literally like there was a band of aliens playing
Yep.
and people getting drunk and a dude with, and you pointed this out multiple times, a small little stand-up table, and he was making a house of cards with an old school standard deck of cards.
That guy's amazing.
And he kept like shoving people away so they wouldn't knock it over as the bar fight
He's like,
happens.
no, please don't talk to that. I have
Yeah,
to
no,
do
it's
this for
hilarious.
3 hours. No. Oh, it moved an inch.
I think he
that's-
did get knocked over during one of the fights.
I think
Yeah.
it did.
unfortunately.
And that's what made this movie worth watching was those kinds of hilarious, like, why would they put that on film? Why?
I appreciated the space drinks, the beakers of bubbling green and blue liquid
Yeah.
to show, we're in a bar in space,
Yeah, here, let's drop a little dry ice in there and let it bubble away.
and also Killian's Red,
yeah.
the most alien of beverages.
Yes. And their outfits looked very 80s. Not
Oh,
even like
yeah.
space like. It was just straight up like fashion row 80s or actually like homeless street youth LA scene 80s because the dudes were, their clothing was pretty rough.
Except that alien was rocking that scarf.
I know, yeah, he was
Yep.
totally rocking the scarf.
I think we should start a Kickstarter and save that kid on that planet. He was just all by himself.
Yeah, at the very end,
Let's get a
plot
Kickstarter,
spoil.
and Dan, you can write the movie.
Let's make
Yeah.
a sequel.
We could do a sequel. The kid is on the planet by himself. Like he just literally, they found a planet because the ship couldn't go any farther, and the guy was dying. He dropped the kid off on a planet.
The sequel should take place 37 years later, and we should get the same actor.
Oh, we probably
That-
could.
Like I think I've heard that like there was like E.T. like 37 later with Elliot's wife, kids. I think I think that was a thing like in like 2018, but I've never seen it.
There was a commercial where they brought back Elliot.
Yeah.
Oh,
for
cool.
Yeah.
I think
Phone home.
I think it was like a Christmas thing,
I could see that.
Christmas ad.
That sounds like a reason to bring back Elliot and the crew.
Yep.
Do we want to talk about the beers now?
Yeah, we
do.
totally can. We can get on that. So, as I mentioned earlier, so if we were going to take a commercial break, this would be where that commercial break goes.
Come on
So-
down to Space Cantiner. Definitely different from the Cantina, where it's legally distinct. Lucas, please
Yep.
don't come after us. You want your blue drinks? You want your green drinks? You want your George Killian Red? You want the local band Otto and the Autonauts?
I would like the Otto and the Autonuts for
Otto and the
sure.
Autonuts. That's great.
Do a song.
Definitely your new
Yeah,
band.
David.
Rumble.
Yeah, and
Yes,
you can,
that.
and we need to. So we definitely need to track down David Mendenhall. That's the main kid.
Is he still acting?
He it says that he is. I mean, he's.
I know he did a lot of voice
Well,
work.
let's-
Oh, he's only a year older than I am. Jeez.
Let's send him a link to the episode and see if he drinks beer.
He did in the movie, so perhaps.
Yeah,
he
let's see if
he does a
was
lot of
probably
voice
water.
acting. He does a lot of child voice
hopefully.
acting, so it's cool.
Hopefully.
Well,
All
I
right.
think he was definitely a great child
All right.
80s actor.
So on this episode of Moving a Beer, we watched this thing called Space Raiders. It was from 1983, crazy old movie, and we had a couple of beers. One was from Washington State, and one was from Oregon.
Oh, yeah.
and they were both what you would call just a standard American pale ale. We did have a third beer, but we chose not to drink it because it was just like wouldn't go with the film. So the first one that we talked about or drank was the 425 pale ale, and that was from Bellevue Brewing, and it had kind of a wetty cereal, smooth piney hop, Northwest style citrus stone fruit, and it ended a little dry. And it was just a really clean standard pale ale. It wasn't like an IPA. It wasn't over hopped and crazy, but it had a fuller body than the other one.
Yeah, I really liked it. Of the two we had, I have to say the 425 it gets my vote. Just
Okay.
with the movie and overall.
I
Personally.
didn't mind it. I thought it was pretty good. 425, that's a Washington area code.
Yes, it is.
Ah,
Is
clever.
that- yeah.
So Bellevue, Washington
clever.
is where the brewery is. And yeah, I mean, I this was one of the beers that I purchased at this company up in Vancouver, Washington, which isn't paying us, so I'm not going to say their name, but they are called Total Wine and something else.
So take that unnamed wine company.
So yeah, I bought a bunch of Washington beers up there like a month ago, and this has been sitting in the fridge, and we're going to eventually get through all of them, but we do have a few more to get through.
So I guess as a preview for upcoming
At the
episodes.
beginning episodes, we're going to have more Washington beers. The other beer, which has actually been in another movie and a beer episode, is Pacific Rain Pale Ale from our favorite brewery, Ninkasi.
What episode was
Yeah.
that?
I want to say it was a really older
You were
episode.
saying legend?
I now I got to go to our site and look it up because off the top of my head, I really
You know what?
for the life of me, can't
Listeners, reach out to us on Instagram.
Yeah, guess which episode it was in, and we'll
I think it was yesterday.
We'll meet up with you and give you a free beer. We'll buy you a beer. We'll buy you a
There we
beer
go.
at Cerveza or someplace we can in our neighborhood.
go.
If you're in our neighborhood.
Coco or yesterday?
Guess which
I'm
episode it's
guessing.
in. I'm going to look it up because now I can't remember, and I feel really bad because I can't remember. But and I'm looking it up on our website. If you go to movieandabeer.com, which
movieandabeer.com.
has more than just a stream of our episodes. If you click on the navigation, you'll find an About Us, which will talk about us and what we use to record and stuff. And then we have some tips on how to review beer,
Yes.
as well as a map of movies and beers. So the map of movies and beers is actually really, really cool because you can zoom in on this map of the United States and find a brewery. You can actually just click on it.
Whoa, that's crazy.
It's amazing. So I'm going down to Eugene, and I'm going to click on the Eugene, the one little icon for Eugene, and it'll tell you what movies we actually watched and what beers from that brewery we had.
Amazing.
And it was actually one of the first movies a long time ago, last year.
Pokemon Detective Pikachu.
Oh,
Was that it?
That
Yeah.
you gave it
Oh,
away.
yeah. Okay.
I had no idea. Although Coco's a good guess.
Yeah,
Like that was, I mean, it's closer than Legend,
yeah.
which we thought it was.
That was a while ago.
So,
Okay, Otto has something to say about the beer, apparently.
all right, go for it.
Not about the beer, just do
Okay.
you know where I can hear myself a little bit more on movietosnack.com.
Ooh, yes, you can.
Shameless plug. Okay,
Shameless
thanks,
plug.
I love
Otto.
it. I love
We're
it.
co-sponsoring each other. It's cool because it's a spoof of our show, and it's actually not a spoof. It's a really good, funny.
I would say
So-
it's a spin-off.
It's a spin-off.
Yeah.
It's really cool, and we've guest hosted and starred on it, as well as Otto now has done ours a number of times. So I
Yeah.
think we just kind of serendipitously exist together.
If you're looking for a snack for your beer and a movie, check it out.
Yeah,
Yep.
he does way more cooler movies than we do.
Also, the music at the end of each episode, perfection.
Oh yes, he does all
Perfection.
his own music.
He does all his
for
own
the
music. It's
episode.
really sweet. So
So let's talk about the second beer,
Yeah,
and,
so-
then, and then the third bonus drink for our youth correspondent.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
we'll
which
save that for
there
the end.
was. Yes, we'll save it for the very end because it's cool. Pacific Grand Pale Ale, it's like 5.5 ABV, 50 IBU, real clean, Citra Mosaic Simcoe Nugget hops. So
It's a nice looking can.
It's a really. I mean,
it looks
Ninkasi
like
always does well with their designing. There's like tropical, citrusy, floral kind of thing with just a touch of pine and dry pithiness on the back, which I really like about this beer because it's not like an IPA.
Yeah, it's
It's not bitter.
IPA. Yeah, IPAs will typically let you know whether you want to or not that it's an IPA.
So for non bitter beer drinkers, they'll be like, "Oh, that's really bitter." I'm like, not compared to IPAs, it's not. This is
Yeah.
actually really mild and a nice, bouquet of hop floral arrangements.
I think I'd like to say that it's fiercely flavorful and refreshingly drinkable. Pacific Rain is your call to experience the Pacific Northwest. Crafted with water from Oregon's Mackenzie River and a band of four distinguished hops.
Yes.
Band? What does that mean? A band of four
That's
distinguished
a
hops?
really
Maybe
good,
it's like
interesting use
banded
of words.
together?
I
This is
know. I have
what
no
it says
idea.
on the side of the can.
I-
A band.
Randall, I was going to say,
Yeah,
wow,
sorry,
off the top of
I
the,
know,
off
off
the
the
You
top.
sure it doesn't
top
say
of my
blend? You sure it doesn't say blend?
thought he
Not
had it
band?
memorized.
It says, and a band of four distinguished hops.
Huh.
This Northwest Pale is citrusy, crisp, and tailor-made for easy drinking.
I don't
Easy
believe you,
drinking.
Randall.
It is what
yeah.
you would call quaffable
I love that word.
or sessionable, which if you actually try to look up doesn't exist, but it exists because of beer culture.
Oh, goodness. That's amazing.
It is a sessionable beer, meaning you can have more than one and it's below 6%.
Speaking of below 6%,
Boom.
seamless segue.
All right, so Otto, you had a really cool
Oh, yeah.
beer.
Yeah.
No, you didn't. You didn't drink a beer like the person in the
Unlike the main character,
the main
of this
character
movie,
who had
Yes.
beer in the
did not
movie.
drink beer.
You don't. You actually had a really cool soda.
Yeah, what
pop.
did you have?
I cannot remember.
Oh, no.
Squirt.
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 What did you think of it? What did it taste like?
Okay, and now I'm starting to think this is a movie snack because I'm saying how it tastes like, but no, but it tasted like it tasted a little sour.
Yeah, you know why? Because what's the fruit, Dan? Is
I
it
think it's
grapefruit?
Grapefruit. It's a grapefruit drink.
What?
It's a grapefruit soda. Grapefruit flavored soda.
It's neon green, but it's really grapefruit. Imagine
It was
that.
it was a little bit sour and a little bit sweet, and it was also for some reason for my taste buds it like tastes like caramel a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So bitterness can go there.
Interesting.
Definitely can.
I'm going to try it based on that recommendation.
You've never had
quite
Squirt either,
tasty.
have you?
Ooh.
Oh, geez. I grew up drinking that.
I grew up in a non-soda drinking house.
So, growing up
Probably
in a
for the
household
best.
where my parents had every kind of mixer you can imagine, Squirt was one of them.
What do you mix in the squirt? Vodka?
Whiskey.
Really?
Yeah. Like whiskey
Interesting.
sour. You use
Oh.
Squirt. If you don't have any sweet and sour mix, you use Squirt. Because it adds that bitterness.
Now I wish we had squirt because I know we have a lot of whiskey.
We have a lot of whiskey upstairs. But yeah, we can do that another time.
We'll make the next spin-off binge. Hold on. I got this. Fresh cut for the spin-off series and a cocktail.
Oh, there's a lot of those
Where you
already
fall
out
asleep
there. But
where you fall asleep through halfway through a TV show series.
Yeah,
Because
perfect.
you drank 5 cocktails.
each episode. All right, Otto. Any final thoughts on the movie or the beer? Or your Squirt that you had?
There's nothing but those, but maybe I kind of think we should have a song at the end of this, maybe.
Well,
Song.
we might be able to add one in later, but
Maybe.
right now,
Not right now.
right now we're waiting on dinner to get here,
Yeah.
so we need
Oh,
to.
it's dinner time.
wrap
As
it
Blake
up.
Yes.
disappointingly puts on his accordion.
Oh,
And guess what? We're watching a movie tonight, but
yeah,
stay tuned for our next episode to find out what we watched.
yeah.
We're not going to spoil it at all, but it rhymes with nothing. It rhymes with underwear. I'm kidding. It doesn't rhyme. It does not rhyme with underwear.
Here's a good clue. It rhymes with purple.
All right, take us out, Dan.
All right, thank you all for listening today at this wonderful episode of Movie and a Beer. We discussed Space Raiders, made in the 1983 era, and a couple of great beers. And as always, we highly recommend that you hydrate while you drink anything.
Hydrate or dihydrate.
That's our main phrase. So I'd like to thank you for listening, and as always, the Opinions expressed during the recording of this episode are those of the hosts, and we would like to say a special shout out to our wonderful youth correspondent, Otto.
Movie and
Otto.
a snack.
Movie and a snack.
Go listen to it. There'll be a link in the
Yeah,
thing.
we'll drop a link. It's cool.
Link in the thing, everybody. Link in the thing.
Link
in the
link in
thing.
it. Link in it all.
Description?
So thanks for listening, everybody. This is Dan.
This is Blake.
I'm Otto.
Randall.
All right. Thanks, everybody. Take care.
Goodbye.